Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kid Chef. Today, we're gonna make an amazing and delicious rainbow cake. These are the materials that we need to make this cake. To start off, I'm gonna start by taking my turntable and placing my vanilla cake on top of it. I'm using a vanilla cake. You can use whatever type of cake you want. For the next step, we have to level the top, trim the sides, and cut off all the caramelization. Now it's time to trim the sides. Be careful with this part so you don't trim too much off. Alright, we are done the sides, now it's time to level the top. Make sure to be very careful with this part also. I'm going over the top a couple times with my bread knife to make sure the top is flat. Alright, after a lot of work, we're finally done. I've cut my cake into layers and I'm just using some simple syrup to soak the cakes to make it nice and moist and delicious to eat. If you want to know how to make simple syrup, this simple syrup recipe is on my channel. Simple syrup is used in cocktails or to keep cakes moist. Make sure to add enough simple syrup on each of the cake layers. Now it's time to color the frosting. The colors that I chose for this cake are blue, yellow, and pink. Now that I have colored my frosting, I'm going to put all the colors into a separate piping bag. It really doesn't matter what order you put it in, but I chose pink first. Then I put yellow. And last, I did blue. This is such a beautiful color. Now I'm going to take out my crumb-coated cake, and if you want to know how to get up till this step, just watch my How to Build a Cake video. You should be able to find that video on this channel. For my ombre, I'm starting with pink on the bottom. Hold your piping bag with your dominant hand and turn the turntable with your non-dominant hand. When you're piping the frosting onto your cake, make sure the piping bag is not touching the cake. I went 2 times around the cake with all 3 colors. Now it's time for the yellow. I did the same thing that I did for the pink. I went 2 times around the cake with my yellow frosting. And then finally for the blue, I did the exact same thing. And I made sure to go around 2 times with the blue frosting. Okay, I'm done the sides. Now I'm just gonna dollop a little bit of extra frosting on the top and smooth it out with my offset spatula. I have 2 offset spatulas, one big and one small offset spatula. For the top of this, I used both the small and the big offset spatula. And now I'm just making sure to make the top nice and smooth. Now for the sides of my cake, I'm going to use a bench scraper and smooth my frosting out. I did the top once again, but using my large offset spatula. And then I'm going back in with my bench scraper to smooth the sides once more. For the top edge, I'm just using my large offset spatula and dragging the frosting from the edge to the middle. After each time you drag the offset spatula, there will be frosting on the offset spatula, which you will need to clean off into a bowl. Now repeat those steps until the top edge of your cake is flat. If you have any gaps on the top edge, make sure to touch it up with some more frosting. Make sure to take your time for this part. Wow, I'm so happy with how this ombre turned out. To clean my cake board, I just wrapped a paper towel around my index finger. Now for the drip, you can use homemade ganache or you can go ahead and use store-bought. I'm using store-bought in this video because we didn't have chocolate and I couldn't make ganache. Very carefully and slowly, add one drip at a time and go around the entire cake doing the drips. If you're making homemade ganache, then go ahead and put it into a squeezy bottle or a Ziploc bag or a piping bag. This is a time-taking process, but the slower and more careful you are, the better the drips at the end will look. There we go, we're almost done. Now for the top, I'm just putting the excess ganache and smoothing it out. To smooth it out, I'm using my small offset spatula. Wow, I'm so happy with my drips. Now for the swirls, I'm marbling all three of my frosting colors into a bag with a star tip. After I put the swirls on top of the cake, I sprinkled it with some rainbow sprinkles. And this is the top of the cake. I made some meringues to put on top of the cake. I'll be coming out soon with a meringue recipe. I'm just placing one individual meringue I also piped on a couple dollops of frosting here and there, and I put meringues on there. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.